Where I'm going to give you the latest update on Hurricane Laura this morning. Now a Category 3 hurricane as of the latest advisory at 8 a.m. coming in from the National Hurricane Center. Sustained wind speeds right now 115 miles an hour. The continuation of movement at this very time and place is northwest at about 15 miles an hour. Once again, this is a Category 3 hurricane as of right around 9 this morning when I'm giving you this update. But as of that latest advisory, 8 a.m. going to give you that Category 3 status. Now I want to break down Laura in terms of when we typically see that first major hurricane. Now that Laura is actually a Category 3 hurricane, that classifies it as a major hurricane. Now on average, we usually see our first major hurricane right around September 4th, and Laura actually strengthened to a Cat 3 today, about 9 days ahead of that average. Now, I also want to break down its current track. So for you right now, Category 3 hurricane in the center of the Gulf of Mexico, warm breeding grounds for continuing to develop in terms of intensification, and that's exactly what it's projected to do. Category 3 status right now, but projected to hit Category 4 status by early this afternoon. And prior to making landfall, going to hold true to that same strength and intensity before slightly weakening at landfall, potentially hitting at a Category 4 status, but most likely at a Category 3 status late tonight, early tomorrow morning. This is around 2 a.m. tomorrow with sustained winds right around 120 to even 130 miles per hour if it hits right around Category 4 status. Now this storm will continue to head farther north and west over the coming days as a tropical storm. So there are alerts posted for some locations even farther inland, but then it's going to progress its way farther north and east as a depression and actually head towards Hampton Roads. And what will it bring to us? Well, it's actually going to bring some excess rainfall by this weekend. We'll have those details always posted for you in the 13 News Now Weather Center. But I want to give you a preview on watches and alerts in place right now. Loads of warnings in place. Those are those brighter pinks and oranges you are seeing, and they extend all the way into Arkansas. So Shreveport, Louisiana included, Monroe, also all the way back to Houston, Texas included in some of these warnings. There's a lot of things at play, and I want to break those down for you. So what we're really dealing with in terms of impacts from Laura, well, storm surge. It's actually going to be a life-threatening storm surge in place, flooding rainfall in terms of just dumping heavy rainfall from the system in general, as well as damaging winds. And with those winds and heavy rainfall, we are also going to see some power outages too. So I want to break that apart for you as well. In terms of that storm surge total, we could see almost 10 to 15 feet of storm surge in some locations, especially right around where that area is projected to make landfall, right around the Louisiana-Texas state line. This is going to impact areas of coastal Louisiana first and foremost, and it's going to stretch even into parts of Texas too. So storm surge effects and warnings, also watches in place. But in terms of rainfall, we are going to see inches dropped as this continues to make its way farther inland. You can even see parts of southern Illinois eventually as the system continues to work its way farther north and east, going to impact parts of the central United States, the Ohio River Valley in general. But check out some of these totals. Those brighter colors you're seeing, somewhere above 10 inches of rainfall some locations locally are going to see. In terms of power outages, we're going to see scattered, numerous to even widespread power outage, especially near those coastal locations when landfall takes place. So this is something to keep in mind, but hurricane season is just beginning. We haven't even reached our peak. Peak of hurricane season comes right around September 10th. So we're about a couple weeks away, but hurricane season doesn't completely die down until almost the end of November. Now we're going to keep you posted on all the changes with Hurricane Laura coming up here in the 13 News Now Weather Center.